I think it's really important that they got to get over the line. If they get over the line, like I've said many times, I think that is the only question mark about this group of players, is the mentality to be able to get over the line. But like you said, we did it at Blackburn. We finished 4th. We didn't really believe. The following season, we were very close. We ended up runners-up. And then when you're in the running of the season when we actually won it, yes, it's nervous. Of course it's nervous. It's going to be. You know, it's the biggest prize in the game domestically. We believed that we would get over the line, but we were nervous. There's no coming away from that. These boys will be. They will be petrified that they've got this opportunity. They've addressed the issues with the squad now. They've got the strength and depth. They look solid defensively before yesterday. They scoring enough goals, all right, and there's not one individual who's scoring an enormous amount of goals, but they're sharing them around the group. They look unbelievable on set pieces. They're flying high on all competitions at the moment. They just need to get over the line. But that's almost the biggest thing to do. It's the biggest thing because they know the questions what people are asking. And when they're getting booed by the home fans, even their home fans are probably questioning it now, which is going to be even more difficult for them to overcome.
Well, what did you make of the booing? Because you've just said that they're flying on all fronts.
It's frustration. I understand. They're frustrated. As final whistle, I mean, it's the first time they lost in the Premier League all season at home. I mean, the fans are not entitled to boo their team, but they pay their money, can do what they want. But they've been treated to pretty much, you know, good viewing all season. There's a lot worse teams out there who perform a lot worse at home and don't get booed at home. But the expectations are high now. It's about, you can't finish runners-up anymore. They have to win this title, and they have to win it this year. Like I said, they've addressed all the issues with the squad. I believe Mikel is the man. I believe they will go on and win the league. I think they will. I think they'll overcome the nerves. There's no point in them coming in front of the camera and saying, no, we're not nervous, it's not about that. I was in that same position. People were always questioning that because they knew we had the squad to be able to win it. They knew we had the experience previously, but always come up short because Man United, the juggernauts of Man United, had that experience of doing it, just like Man City have. Man City have got the experience over them. And Gary's absolutely right what he says there. Pep Guardiola was saying, he's smelling it now. You know, they could have been out of sight. If they was to go like 10, 12, 15 points ahead, they would win this league at a canter. But now it's edgy, and Pep knows you get into March and there's still, if Man City or whoever it is, or Aston Villa or whoever, are in touching distance, there's a great chance that the mentality of these group of players might just let them down because they've never been there and done it before, whereas his players have.
Sky Sports is a partner with Finalysis to discover true fan opinion. To have your say on your club, download the Finalysis app now. Scan the QR code here for more details, just like Arsenal fan Nick Karamanlis has. Nick, good morning to you. What did you think about the booing at the end of the game?
Frustration. Do you know what? It wasn't just from last night's game. It was an accumulation because even before, even with our home record, I was worried before the game. Man United having that new manager bounce is one thing, but my bigger concern was us. On my socials in the last month, I've been voicing concerns which does seem negative because we are top of the league and we're getting points, but this has been a long time coming. The couple of cup competitions like the Champions League and all that have masked that we have actually got serious issues. And I agree with everything Tim said, apart from one thing where he said we've got the firepower. We're 17th in the league for scoring open play goals. And I've seen how this pans out before. There's only so many times a corner will get you out of trouble, you know?
Well, it's interesting, actually, because speaking to Jay Bothroyd this morning, before we went on air, of course, a former Arsenal player, he actually said that the fans were right to boo, which surprised me. But he said that he thinks that Mikel Arteta was quite negative. He says that Carrick was more positive in his substitutions, etc., than Arteta was. And he particularly pointed out the fact, I mean, this is in starting 11 rather than substitution, that Eze should have been starting over Odegaard. He says that Eze has showed more in central midfield going forward than Odegaard has, but he's reverted to type and reverted to the team that keeps coming second in the league, not the one that's going to win it.
No, I don't really agree with this Odegaard-Eze thing, if I'm being honest, because actually I think Odegaard played very well yesterday and he was the only one that was tracking back and turning over the ball and winning possession back. And everyone seems to think Eze's the answer. I don't even think it's a matter of individual players. I think it's the way we're playing. We're too slow. We're too methodical. Nerves are kicking in. I think Arteta is almost afraid of his own shadow a little bit. And it's like he's feeding onto the players in the Emirates. It's safer passing. It's slower restarts. 11 men behind the ball. Just less risk. You know, the prime example of that as well is that when we do score, every time we score, just look at the stats. We drop off 10 yards, our pressing drops, and we concede possession. We're happy to sit back, soak pressure, like you said against Wolves the other day. And even when we equalised yesterday, I had a feeling Man United were going to go on and win. We should be us on the ascendancy. So, listen, I don't agree with his substitutions yesterday at all. I think there was too many wholesale changes, 4 players in one go. And half the time he doesn't make any subs. And the one thing I do disagree with Arteta is his kind of squad management. I mean, Zubamendi's played more games than anyone, and why did he have to play 90 minutes midweek? But a lot of the fringe players aren't getting enough games, and then when we needed a goal, he's whacked them all on at the same time and expects miracles. That's not going to work either.
I thought he went early on the subs, 58 minutes, 4 substitutions. It's the only criticism, but hindsight management's very, very easy, by the way. I just felt Saka's not himself at the moment, and I thought Luke Shaw was excellent, by the way, but I thought that Bukayo needs to be the man. He is the main man. They're too reliant upon him. Maybe it's time, I wouldn't suggest leaving him out, but maybe trying something different, like he did when he made the changes with Madueke coming in on the right side and maybe Saka on the left. Perhaps a few more attacking players, in the final third. Like you say, maybe not asking them to do the work going back the way, just to stay up the field and be a little bit more proactive. But it's like I say, it's easy in hindsight looking back at games. I listen to pundits all the time who have never stood in that technical area, and it's very difficult for me to understand what they're talking about because they've never been there.
Listen, I'm afraid to say this, but I haven't seen evidence that this side can get over the line under pressure. Yes, we can beat big teams. We've proven that. But it's not the big teams or the teams that are the problem. It's the occasion. It's no good beating the likes of PSG and Bayern Munich in the group games and then choking the semi-finals. And it's the same in the league. They remind me of a little bit, and I hope it's not true. It's Gareth Southgate's England.
Well, just in case, because he haven't got over the line yet.
Because second's not going to be good enough, is it?
No, it's not going to be good enough. I mean, listen. Now my rant's over. I've got to put it into a perspective, right? We're top of the league, 4 points clear in January.
Yeah.
We're top of the Champions League. We're in 4 cup competitions. I'm not having all this Arteta sacking talk. I'm not into that at all. He must be one of the only managers in history to be top of all the leagues and still get so much talk of sacking. There's 19 other managers that don't get that much talk. So I don't want that. I just want to find ways to improve. He's a young manager, and he's got a lot of attention to detail. So he's learning on the job. It's his first rodeo, remember? And I get it. I get the frustration. We've all seen this before. And we know how it goes, and we just don't want that to happen again. Yeah. I still think we get over the line. Yeah. Unfortunately, I kind of think we get over the line because City are probably going to be faltering more than the fact that we are that good. I mean, obviously, we're very good defensively. I think we need a shake-up. Like you said yourself, we need a shake-up. We need to score more goals, and it can't just be set-piece goals.
No, but even yesterday, let's have it right. You gifted them a goal. Zubamendi gives it straight to Mbeumo. Probably the first time I've seen Zubamendi give the ball away this season. And then you get done with 2 worldies. I mean, absolutely out of this world strikes. I'm not saying they played well, Arsenal. They didn't play well, but on another day you get away with it. I always think, though, I really believe this. You said when it went 2-2, you go on and win the game. If a point's not bad, a point isn't bad, and at that stage, you need to sometimes take what's on offer. Because that point could be the difference between you winning and losing this league at the end of the season.
Yeah, you can argue, though, like from the last couple of seasons, those points have probably lost us the league as well. There's certain times where you have to go for the win. I mean, it's all well and good getting the point yesterday to a resurgent Man United, a little bit of a manager bounce, fair enough. But we've dropped points against Forest, for example. The Liverpool game was atrocious, if I'm being honest. That second half, I don't know how we even got the point. So when you kind of accumulate, this is probably the frustration with the Arsenal fans is now, it's how many points do you start dropping before City are now 4 points behind, right? We play them away. They go and beat us there. Pressure's on again.
There was a message on the screen. It's just gone actually from Soph, and it said that Arsenal have got a sense of entitlement about winning the title, and that's going to end up costing you the title. What does she mean by that?
I don't think it's entitlement as such. I think we're almost spoiled, right? We've got. You can argue that because of how good our squad is, we think we're going to win it. But you can remember who put that squad together. Teams like Man United and Spurs have spent similar money over the last few years, and Chelsea have spent more than us, and they're not even anywhere near us. So there's perspective there. Look, it's not entitlement. It's the fact that we have put this squad together. We have got probably the best squad in the league, and yes, we are expected to win it, because look at the last 3 seasons. We've probably accumulated more points than, I believe we've accumulated more points than Man City and Liverpool together in the last 3 seasons. It's just getting over the line. So it's not entitlement. Yes, we want to win it. That's all it is. And it's good that we've got the pressure on us, because that means we are being thought of as champions. So it's not a bad thing. And listen, Arsenal are brilliant when it goes to plan. The question is now how they're going to cope. Now the plan's kind of broken a bit.
Well, if you don't get over the line, is it the biggest title race slip-up in the history of the Premier League?
Well, other than the last 3 seasons, probably, yeah. What can you do? I mean, honestly, this season, if we don't get over the line, with the way Man City are playing as well, it's criminal. It really is, because they're shocking at the back at the moment, Man City. We are the other way round. We can put ourselves together. We might actually
what you do is quite simple, and I think Mikel said it after the game. You stick together as the fans, as a group of players, as a coaching staff, as a manager, and you need to get over the line together. You need to put your heads together. You need to go out there when you've got games when you can absolutely blast teams off the pitch from the start of the game. Don't let it get into 60 minutes, 75 minutes. Start getting edgy. Anxiety breeds from the stands. Blow teams away early. Play on the front foot. You've got the ability to be able to play any way you want to play and win football matches. And I think Arsenal will get over the line. If they do, they'll be a force to reckon with.
Even 2-3 seasons ago, we used to do that. We've just kind of retreated. And I don't know. Do you think it's because of the pressure?
Yeah.
Do you think because that you naturally go back, you naturally come into defensive? It's 11 men behind the ball every time we lose the ball. Do we need to do that, really? Is there a reason why we can't get far in?
100% is pressure. And there's no hiding away, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, because we've all been there. And we had a manager who had been there and done it as a player and as a manager, and we looked up to him. And he showed us the way how to get over the line, to keep us calm, and just to say, basically, what's the worst thing can happen? What's the worst thing can happen here? You've got an opportunity. You've got a better opportunity with 4 points clear to win this Premier League more than any other team in the league. You've got most of your players fit now. Calafiori is probably the only one who's out injured. You let Ranieri go away to Marseille. He scored at the weekend. You've got all the tools to win this Premier League. It's all going to be in between your ears. Can you get over the line? If you can, then the future is so bright for Arsenal Football Club. If you don't, hate to think what might happen.
We've got a poll at the moment, actually. It's very, very simple, actually, on X. It just says, will Arsenal win the league? We can see how it's going at the moment and get your reaction to this, Nick. I'm not sure what the percentage is at the moment. I think we're just trying... No, we can't show it, but at the moment, the answer is no. 65%, there it is. 65% of our viewers this morning are saying that Arsenal will not win the league. Does that surprise you, Nick?
That does actually surprise me. That does, because I still think we will get over the league. Like I said, I don't think City are at their best. They're not firing. I don't think Villa will have the squad to do it. So that does actually surprise me. But I guess it's kind of, it's less than 24 hours after a game and another kind of shock draw. So you're going to get that reaction. You know what? Football changes every week in, week out. I mean, it was only a few weeks ago that Man City were nailed on to win the league. And then a couple of weeks later, Chelsea were nailed on to win the league. And then it was Aston Villa. And all of a sudden, it changes week to week to week. Yeah. But look, we have been top for most of the season. We are probably the most consistent in many ways. We're going through a bit of a blip. We're going through a hard time. It has been a bit of a blip. It's been a long time coming, though, I think. We've not been very good. I think we need a reset. I do agree, Tim, you had a manager there when, that had got over the line before. I think Arteta's a little bit nervy, and I think that kind of comes out in his substitutions, in his player management. He seems to play all the key players too much, in my opinion. Even games that are already won in the Champions League, you know, Rice and Saka will always come on if they're not training. Give them a week off. Zubimendi's played every minute. And I think that starts to feed on a little bit. But I do think that he's got to cut out the white noise and just get on it with it. And I do think we'll get over the line, certainly for the league. Cup competitions, anything can happen, but certainly for the league, yeah.
I'd imagine he'll make change on Wednesday night as well. OK, Nick, thank you.
Cheers, Nick.